It's hard to believe, but becoming disengaged is actually the normal thing. Hey, this is Steve, and this is the Career Competitor Coach's Corner. When you grow up in sports, as I did, you got used to watching friends and teammates one by one find reason to no longer pursue the sport they once seemed to love. Growing up in England, I played soccer, football, whatever you want to call it, all the way up until the age of 18. It was my absolute first love in life, dreaming of the day I could put on the England jersey and walk out to score the winning goal in the World Cup final. From the moment I can remember, I was looking for opportunities to kick a football. I didn't even need someone to kick it to. A wall would suffice, and I would simply receive the rebound and repeat for what seemed like hours at a time. As I became involved in local club teams, I got to pursue the beautiful game to some fairly competitive levels. But reality eventually took over. And I was never going to be competitive in relation to the professional level. At the age of 12, I removed myself from all club teams to focus strictly on my sport of swimming. But I never fully let go of my first love, as I remained a member of my school team all the way until my final year of school. The irony here was that as one of the few members of the team who was not solely playing football as their chosen sport throughout their teen years, I was somehow more engaged in the quality of my performance and whether we won than most of my teammates. You see, football was not what I was engaged in, but competing was. For many of us, we set out just 25 days ago at the start of the year with an intention to pursue or achieve something that would be our resolution for 2023. Statistics show that upwards of 85% of those plans have already been shelved or thrown in the trash. Life has gotten in the way. Excuses have been made. Goals might have been reassessed. Negotiations have taken place internally for a so-called more rational approach towards more achievable goals. At the core of wherever you find yourself within that 85% is a disengagement with what you initially set out to accomplish. It just isn't what you thought you wanted. You don't necessarily see the point in being as enthusiastic as you were less than a month ago. Connect with the energy you had when you first came up with the goal. Excitement, enthusiasm, a feeling of ownership, intention, purpose. You felt fueled. The idea of the goal brought about all of these types of responses, and yet now just 25 days in, that energy has lessened, maybe even disappeared altogether. And you now find the energy to confirm why it is not what you need to pursue anymore. The coach in me would like to maybe offer a reframe, a different perspective, a shift, if you would say, in the lens that you're maybe looking at the way you assess this. What if you could not make this about the goal so much and make it more about the qualities within you that you need to practice and invest in? Can you get excited about what makes you, you, and the qualities within you that can serve all aspects of performance in your life? If you set out to go to the gym more this year, for instance, let's say 3 times a week instead of 0, and you just went 5 days, the past 5 days without going, and know it is now impossible to fit 3 visits in the next 2 days. What components of what makes you, you, were going to serve the act of going to the gym in the first place? Was it the discipline? Was it a healthy outlook on life? Was it your inclination to perform at higher levels? What was that inner stimulus, that inner part of you that was serving this goal? While the idea of a new goal like going to the gym seems like this catalyst that you need to become a better you, or it's a new concept or a new part of you that you're trying to create or implement, what if you could look at it as an extension of you instead? What about you can serve the goal? How can you remain invested in those characteristics in other facets of life so you can then feel confident about transferring how you apply those qualities toward a lost goal? Disengagement feels like a loss, but it's not. It's actually a closure, a discontinuance, if you will. There are pathways that surround who we are, and we can choose whether to walk them or close them off. Did you miss the goal that you set out to achieve last week? Big deal. You're a human being. You have many more goals and targets ahead of you that you will also miss out on too. The key is how quickly you plan to re-engage with what you want by reassigning your efforts at the core of who you are. Listen to that again. The key is in how you quickly plan to re-engage with what you want by reassigning your efforts at the core of who you are. I have been, and I always will be a competitor. And just because my goal to score the winning goal for England in the World Cup final died 25 years ago, it does not mean I didn't pursue and remain engaged with the sport of football any less. It made me value every moment I had to compete within it when I had the opportunity. When you look at your goals and maybe allowing yourself to become disengaged with them, how much is that disengagement affecting how you show up elsewhere? And have you even considered that? Maybe the goal you set out for in 2023 was the wrong one. Maybe it wasn't. But at some point, you were really enthusiastic about it because it represented who you are and what you wanted. At a minimum, re-engage with that. Re-engage with what the goal represented about you and what you believed you were capable of. Because you never know. At some point down the road, much like my competitive self has come to learn, by prioritizing the best version of you, you are going to discover, pursue, and achieve a goal no World Cup final could ever provide. Sure would have been nice to score that goal, though. Thanks for listening to the Career Competitor Coach's Corner. I hope I was able to offer you some perspective and some insight to help you on your way to achieving optimal performance. Be sure to tune back in to the next episode of Career Competitor, where I'll be welcoming back on a guest to the show for an interview that's going to impact you and allow you to reach those optimal levels of performance in whatever it is that you're pursuing. Until then, best of luck with everything and anything you've got going on. Bye for now.